Day 3 of IAE 2954. We see Mirai and Misk hitting the showroom floor, and all of those ships should be hitting the game store as well. Today's limited edition ship is the Misk Hull E. This is when you can get it if you want it. So for the CCU Warbond portion of the video, I'm jumping straight to the new one first, the Freelancer MIS. It's only ever, I think it may have had one in the past, but I don't see it on the CCU game. Jumping over the CCU game here, you can see it's only had today. I may be thinking of one of my $0 Warbond or $0 CCUs instead of a Warbond CCU, but I thought the MIS had one before, but it would have been previous to 2021. So it's a pretty rare one. If this fits into your chain, obviously grab it now. If you want the MIS as a final link in your chain, today's pretty much the day to get it, I suppose. Looks like the Prospector is going to be the best one here. I think I recently went over the Razor and the Prospector, but in case you missed that video, let me pop them up over here just so you can see. Prospector has had CCU prices or CCU Warbonds quite often over the past couple years, going back to 2022. $10 discount most of the time, so that's good. And we'll go over to the Razor. Which one was that? The EX? Yep, the Razor EX. So we'll click on that one, and it hasn't had one. So it's just not a great choice. I suppose it would be second choice because it's same price as the Prospector. And then you get down to the Hornet Mark 1. You never want to use a Mark 1. For those new to the game, don't ever use a Mark 1. For those old to the game, you already know the issues with the Mark 1s. You can't get them. Well, for those new to the game, you can't get the Mark 1s in CCU form over here anymore. They don't exist because the Mark 2s came out, and these have been removed effectively from getting to the Mark 1 ship in the CCU chain. So definitely don't use the Mark 1s ever unless you really know what you're doing and you already have a way to get there. Freelancer MAX, again, you're leaving another $5 on the table here. It's $15 versus 10. Bad choice. And everything else is basically similar, right? Going down the stack here. And then you got some concept ships. So jumping back to the CCUs themselves, I'll go through the rest of them in case you missed some of the other videos. Concept ships as well, I'll go through these in the same time period. So Nautilus, again, generally speaking, we don't do concept ships over here, but you don't really have much of a choice if you want to get any type of a future discount to the Nautilus. Odyssey the Nautilus seems like the best one because it's the least amount of extra spend, so that's pretty cut and dry there. Moving down, we do have the Odyssey as well, so you go Perseus to Odyssey. Also, both are concepts, so you can do both left and right on this one. I suppose, no, the Merchantman's still less. Okay, so there you go. Perseus to Odyssey. Again, you're jumping through a bunch of concept ship pricing, and you don't know what the end pricing will be, so it is a bit of a speculation here. Then we got the whole D... whole C Prowler. So the Prowler's the next Warbond here. It's still the $30 discount, and the Reclaimer's still the best one. We are expecting a Reclaimer Warbond CCU during the BIS day a little bit further along this week. So the Reclaimer is the best one to get for the Prowler right now. Moving along, we've got the Genesis Starliner. If this ship interests you, they're both concepts, so you could jump from the Galaxy to it. Again, that's the least amount of spend. If you want a sure bet, though, I would grab the Valkyrie for $5 more, and there should be a Warbond for this ship as well during the BIS day later on this week. So it's $5 more, but it's a surefire way to ensure you get a discount, whereas the Galaxy... something crazy may be happening with the Galaxy in the future where the Galaxy ups its price higher than this one. Doesn't seem reasonable, but again, who knows? I don't know how they're going to really market and put the Genesis into the game. So it could maybe have a lower price increase, and the Galaxy may have a bigger price increase, and they end up being the same price. Things get wonky when that sort of thing happens. So this would be more speculative because, I mean, it's only a $20 difference for ships that are already over $350, so who knows what the price will be. Surefire bet is the Valkyrie, but either one of these are okay to use in this concept pricing CCU upgrade. So either one is good. I'd probably go with the Valkyrie myself, but that's just me. Moving on past the Genesis, what else do we have? Oh, the Endeavor, almost right away. So Starfarer Gemini, this is the way to go. There was a Starfarer Gemini Warbond, I think. Yeah, a couple of them. So we've had at least 3 Invictus a couple years ago, and then this year during Invictus as well. Hopefully this one will keep making it into the Warbond cycle, and it'll be made available again. That's why this one's the best choice. Plus, it's the cheapest. Caterpillar would be a second choice. It's quite often makes its rounds into the CCU game, so it would be a second choice here. And Redeemer, also relatively common, would be probably a third choice. Let me go look, see if Caterpillar is better than Redeemer. Redeemer, just in the recent past, we're talking 4, 5, 6, so it's had quite a few. Cat, just about the same. I would say those are equal. Maybe not third place. Maybe these are tied for second here, the Redeemer and the Caterpillar. Gemini's first. Caterpillar Redeemer would be second because it's a $10 extra spend for the Endeavor, which is still in concept. Let's go down a little bit further. Starlancer MAX still has... that's interesting. I was expecting a price increase today. Interesting. Okay, so Starlancer MAX still has concept pricing. Maybe that means there's going to be a delay in its release. Don't know, but hey, it's still concept pricing, so take advantage of it if you want that ship. Mole is probably best here still. Aquila is second. Same price, but the Mole comes up almost twice a year. Definitely once a year for as long as I can remember. And the Constellation Aquila has been a recent addition, but it's had quite a couple as well. So I think Mole is still number 1. Aquila is number 2. And then, I don't know, after that, who cares? So anyway. But again, it's concept pricing, so this is as cheap as you're going to get that CCU. So if you do want it at a discount, this is the time to get it. Let's see what's next. All the Vanguards are available. MSR is available. The Max still has the Warbond. I'm going to go through this as well. $25 discount. Terrapin. This is perfect because the Terrapin is also expecting a Warbond on the BIS Day, Best in Show, later this week. Or I guess, yeah, later this week. It's Sunday again. So there you go. Terrapin's the best one. Second place would be the Defender. It's not a bad choice, but you got to wait for it. Probably during Alien Week, and well, there you have it. Alien Week, it's relatively often. Just jump over here real quick to the Defender. It's had quite a few, 3 in the recent past since 2022. Didn't have one this year. I was kind of expecting that, but doesn't look like it got one this year. So maybe next year is going to be the year for the Defender again. So anyway, it's common enough that I would be okay recommending it, but with the Terrapin coming up like right in a couple days, again, not guaranteed, but very likely the Terrapin will have a Warbond this coming week. So I would still recommend the Terrapin with the Defender as a second choice. Next up after that, what else do we have here? It's Vulcan. I almost skipped over the Vulcan. Vulcan's concept. So here's another one that's kind of one of those speculative ones. If you wanted to use the MR is also a concept ship just like the Vulcan. So it's $10 here. But again, for whatever reason, I don't know why I have this feeling, but it feels like the Zeus Mark II MR will raise in price enough that it may be the same price or higher price than the Vulcan. I have no factual basis for this. It's just a feeling I get based on the functionality of something like an interdiction ship versus a medium fueling and repair ship. So it's just my 2 cents. They could be the same price. The Vulcan may increase at the same level and it'll still be $10 higher. I don't know. But it's close enough and the ships are different enough that I'm thinking, well, it's more speculative than some of the others where you have 2 concept ships on left and right. Again, if you want the sure bet, I think the Sabre Firebird had one, had a Warbond very recently. So maybe that one, if you already have it, that's probably a safe bet as well, but it is $5 more. So that's kind of going to be your call. You want to spend you want to spend 10 on one that could mess up but probably won't, versus spend 15 on one that you have a guarantee because you already have the Saber Firebird. So that's kind of the way I look at this Vulcan. Going down further past the Vulcan, we've got the Freelancer MIS. Kind of just went through that one. Then we have both Zeuses again. I think I keep covering these, but just for those that may have missed a previous video, $15 discount. Prospector's the best choice. Done. That's basically it. So the Prospector is still the best choice. The both Zeus Mark IIs, the ES and the CL, are both $175. Prospector is the next best link. Discount, or cost you $5 for a $15 discount. That's just the way to go. Beyond the Zeuses, let's go through it anyway. I don't know. Oh, there's the Expanse and the E1. Okay, so the Expanse I haven't covered because it's new. I suppose the Razor is probably going to be the best choice here. Let's go see. It's had a couple, but they're seemingly few and far between. Yeah, what other options do we have? Hornet Ghost, again, Mark I, not a good option. Unless you've been playing a while and you can already get to this ship. If you can't get here, don't use it. Plus, it's $5 more. So, if you're going to drop $5 anyway and you don't have this, then I think the Ballista versus the Hull B concept ship, which is odd. Like, I don't know why the Hull B is still concept, but anyway, Ballista is probably the next best choice, right? It's had a few. Let's go check it out on the CCU game. So, I mean, the Hull B is a concept. So if you're looking back here and you're like, okay, it's a concept. So concept to concept, it's okay to do this, sure. But again, you're still paying $5 more. So it doesn't make sense for the Hull B, just flat out. And so the next best one would be the Ballista. But again, Razor's still a better choice. So just go with the Razor. Looking at the CCU game, you can see Hull B, obviously no Warbond CCUs. It's still a concept. They don't really happen. And the Ballista has had a few. Won the share, in fact, back in March, and Invictus of last year. So overall, not a bad choice. But again, if it still costs more than the next best option, or than the first best option, then there's no real reason to do it. Just go with the Razor. These are special editions. I wouldn't count on them ever getting one. And then you're leaving more money on the table with lower price ships. Still, but then after the Expanse, I think we had the E1, right? Yep, the E1 Spirit. Razor's the same thing. I think they're the same price, so that's the way to go. This is it's concept pricing anyway, so it's not a Warbond. It's $5. Use store credit if you want it. That's kind of the way to go on that one. That one was easy. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else down here because Origin ships. The only new stuff down here that I can think of is like Origin. That's still in concept anyway, minus the Rangers that I already covered. But let's go through that. The Ranger TR. So basically you would upgrade from the Aurora LX. It costs you $5 now, right? But the TR will increase. You're probably going to spend $5 and you'll have a $5 discount on the final price of the Ranger TR. Just a guess. Maybe this one goes to $10 increase to $50, but that doesn't seem like a $50 vehicle, but who knows? I don't have any say in the pricing of vehicles. So, yeah, and the Ranger RC and the other one, what was that? The SL? What was that? I missed it. CV or the RC. Both of these are $35. And for that one, it's going to be the Aurora MR. Spend $5, get a $5 discount on the final price of the ship, because every single one of these concept vehicles and ships will increase in price when they release. So there you have it. There's all the concept ships and Warbond CCUs. Kind of lackluster day with the one new Warbond, so that's a bummer, but that's the way this thing rolls sometimes. Jumping over to standalone ships, Hull E is sold out for this wave. Check those other waves if you do want to get it, but it is available. Nautilus concept pricing, Hull D concept pricing, and Odyssey concept pricing are all available as well. Again, this is all standalone, high dollar spend stuff, so I'm covering it because it is concept pricing and discounted, but I tend to not recommend you go this route. But look, if it's a concept at $350 here for the Endeavor, and you have $350 in store credit, it makes sense to grab a 10-year version of the ship, right? If that's something that you want. So I suppose for store credit, this is a great way to, I guess, utilize that money in a slight discount way and still get a ship that you may want for the future. Starlancer TAC is the same way, but it also has a Warbond up here as well, Warbond and concept pricing. So this is as cheap as you can possibly get it if you're buying it outright. The concept pricing on the CCU is obviously a cheaper way to do that because we all play the CCU game. Next up is something new I'm trying to look for. Starlancer MAX is Warbond pricing here, $225. Vulcan concept pricing. Again, these are all just, if you're looking for one of these ships and you do have some store credit or you don't mind paying out all the money up front for the ship, this is the way to do it. Zeus. Both Zeuses that are available right now have Warbonds as well still. Expanse's concept pricing. Hull B as well, concept pricing. And then all the other small stuff like the Rangers, I'm sure, are in here as well. The Intrepid has a Warbond still. That's probably going to stick around for a while. The CSB also has one. And then we're getting down into the Rangers. And I think that closes it out for concept ships. Let's jump over to the pack section to see if anything's new. And oh my gosh, they got the MKII complete pack. This one's a big one. It's got a bunch of. I'm sure this has a bunch of ships in it. All the Furies, Razor, 10-year insurance on everything. Interesting. I don't know. It's still so much money to spend, again, unless you have, well, this is Warbond, right? So if you had store credit, you have to go for the higher priced one. I don't like the Furies that much. I'm not into racing. I'm mainly because of skill. User skill prevents me from taking racing seriously. I do like watching some of the races. That's kind of cool, but I'm just no good at it. So these don't really fit into my hangar, unfortunately. But yeah, I suppose if you really wanted all the MKII vehicles right now, this is one way to get it. What else do we have? Add-on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they've got Endeavor. They've got Endeavor modules now. This is cool. I've never seen these, so I don't know if they are brand new or if I just missed them in previous years. If you guys have seen these before, let me know in the comments section because I've never seen this. Holy moly. Okay, so obviously, they are not discounted. None of these are Warbonds, right? But there is a assumed concept discount anytime it says concept on this thing. And the Endeavor is still a concept, right? So if you want these things permanently in your hangars versus, I guess, buying them in-game or, yes, I would love to update the CCU game app. Thanks for interrupting, but dang it, where was I? Add-ons. Okay, here we go. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I like to see the modularity. I don't necessarily like the pricing of all this stuff, but it's good to know that it's getting into the game and they do have it concepted out now because the Endeavor is going to be one of those ships that has a lot of different possibilities for the future, right? And it's good to see that they are thinking about modularity on all the ships that they talked about modularity for. I said all, didn't I? I meant some, okay? Cut me some slack. It's still early in the morning for me, and I'm a little hungover, to be quite frank. So, I don't know. It's kind of cool. I think all this stuff is overpriced. I don't know why we would have to pay so much for a landing pod or a module, but look, they set the prices and we determine whether or not we think it's a valuable purchase. To me, I would probably want to craft or purchase these in-game, right? But if you just wanted to start the game out with a research vessel-based Endeavor, well, guess what? You're probably going to do the biodome kind of thing and do the collider. I don't know what the collider does. Let's go look at what this does. The most visually unique Endeavor module, the distinct circular super collider, is actually one small piece of a more elaborate overclocking facility. This large module includes a pair of White Room workbench labs ideal for tweaking and overclocking Starship components. So wait a minute. You're telling me it's $125 to overclock your Endeavor? This is overpriced, guys. Come on. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Sorry, SIG. I can't endorse this one. I think that's too expensive. But again, what the hell do I know? Maybe that $125 spend is going to be worth it in the future. But again, I still think that building these in game, because we know crafting is going to be pretty robust, or just buying them outright, buying the base model and then upgrading it or something, right, is going to be the way to go. But as far as, getting discounts and reducing our actual spend, but I suppose if you really wanted to have all this stuff available, break out your wallet. They do make it available, that's for sure. So that's it for today, folks. A little bit of a lackluster day, but the MIS is relatively rare. If you needed it, I guess today's the time to get it. Overall, kind of a weird sale, isn't it? IAE doesn't feel the same as some of the other previous years. Hopefully we'll get some decent discounts in the days that are left in the venue, and hopefully we'll get some of our chains completed and get those ships we're all looking forward to. That's it for me, guys. Zi-Tek, out.